Hello and welcome to another episode of Movie of the Week, where on a Saturday I sit down with you guys and either recommend a video that I love or tell you to avoid something like the plague. This week, however, it is a movie I really enjoy. First, to start with, let's talk a bit about the game here. This is some Domination on Strikezone, and I want to say 36 and 16, or 30-something. I know the deaths is 16. It's a rather high-def gameplay, but it's a pretty fast gameplay, and I enjoyed watching it, so I plugged it in. The class setup I'm running is the Honey Badger, which of course has its built-in silencer, and I'm running foregrip and extended mags on it. The big reason I die a lot in this too is, if you notice, I do a lot of rushing around, and I make a lot of silly mistakes, but what are you going to do? And the perks I'm running are Scavenger, of course, so I can strafe more while aiming down sights. I'm running Amplify, so I can sound horror. And I am running Scavenger for ammo. Focus, which is a big one, reduce flinch when hit. And I'm running Agility, which is faster movement. Agility I don't always run. In fact, I don't think I'm running on any class right now. But I switch that one up a lot, depending on what gun I'm using and how I feel like playing at the time. Anyways, sit back and enjoy the gameplay, and let's get to the movie. So the movie of the week is The Princess Bride, which is, just like Willow, one of my all-time favorite movies. I'm going to be starting out with several movies that I like because, well, I like them. Then I'll get to some bad ones. And this movie was written by William Goldman, who not only wrote the screenplay for this, but also wrote the book for this. And yes, it does come in book form. You can actually pick it up fairly easy at any bookstore. If they don't have it, you can order it. I do have a copy of it. And it's directed by Rob Reiner. This movie stars Cary Elwes as Wesley, or the Man in Black, and you'll know him from Saw 1, which he looks nothing like himself, and Robin Hood Men in Tights, which is a well-known comedy and a Robin Hood spoof. Mandy Patinkin also stars alongside him as Inigo Montoya. You'd recognize him as Gideon from the first few seasons of Criminal Minds. Chris Sarandon, who is Prince Humperdinck and one of the most hilarious and over-the-top villains you will ever see, and you know him from the original Fright Night movie, actually. Wallace Shawn plays Vincini, and Wallace Shawn is one of those actors who you've seen in a ton of things. Recently, he was in Eureka. Well, I say recently, I guess it was a little while ago now. That show has been done for 1 year, I think, now. But you'd probably recognize him as the voice of Rex from Toy Story, and Bertram from Family Guy. He plays Stewie's ginger half-brother. We have Robin Wright playing alongside Wesley as Princess Buttercup. Andre the Giant, who is a huge 80s wrestler, he plays Fezzik, and he's really quite good in this movie. I mean, he's about as good as actor as you could expect Andre to be, but I really kind of upset that he died before getting to do many more roles. He died in 1993 because of heart complications, I think it was. He suffered from giantism, which is why he's so huge and kind of looks the way he does. If you notice, like, he's got certain features enlarged, very common with giantism. We have some cameos in this movie, like Fred Savage from The Wonder Years, and actually this is Wonder Years Fred Savage. He plays a sick little boy at the beginning of the movie, and his grandfather comes over to read the book The Princess Bride to him. Also, too, we have Billy Crystal cameoing in this as Miracle Max, and this has to be one of the best makeup jobs ever. I know this movie won several awards. I would hope that makeup was one of them because, I mean, look at the stuff. You wouldn't know it was Billy Crystal. And he's actually quite brilliant in this role, and I am not a Billy Crystal fan. I don't find the guy funny, typically. Anyways, on to the plot. The movie is about Wesley and his true love, Princess Buttercup. And Princess Buttercup, I would assume, originally owned this farm that Wesley was a farmhand on. And he doesn't say anything to her but as you wish. So she'd go and ask him to do something, and that's all he would say is as you wish. And she finally clues in after several years that what he's really saying is that I love you. And so they finally get together, and then he goes to seek his fortune in the world so that they can have a life together. But he gets killed by the Dread Pirate Roberts. And this causes Buttercup to go into a deep depression and seclusion, and we don't really see her for years. And eventually, at some point in time, Prince Humperdinck, I guess, stumbled upon the farm and found her. They don't really ever say how he found her, but anyways, he does, and he decides that he's going to marry her. And Prince Humperdinck, too, has some ulterior motives because he's actually planning on killing her on her wedding night and framing a country that they don't like, Florence, for her death. That way they can go to war for whatever reason. I don't know. Humperdinck's a dick. I mean, listen to his name. It's Humperdinck. And so they hire a band of mercenaries to go and take care of this for her. So she is abducted by Vincini, played by Wallace Shawn, Inigo Montoya, played by Mandy Patinkin, and Andre the Giant, who plays Fezzik. And this is where Wesley comes out, and he's a masked character at first. You don't know who he is. I mean, it's not that hard to tell who it is, so it's not really any spoilers here, guys. And he goes through and defeats them all along the way and saves her. And that's kind of like the first half of the movie. And the three of them end up being Wesley's friends, well, except for Vincini, but Andre the Giant and Inigo Montoya end up being his friends afterwards and help Wesley rescue the princess from the horrible Prince Humperdinck, and that's kind of the big thing of the movie. I'm not going to tell you too much more about it because then I actually will get the spoilers and how everything works out. But I definitely recommend this movie because it's one of those movies that is a fit-all situation. Like, you can watch this with family, you can watch this with friends. This makes a great date movie. If you haven't seen it or your date hasn't seen it, pick it up. Whether it's a guy or a girl, it won't matter. Because if it's a girl, it's got romance in it, they'll love it. And it's not like Notebook romance either, where she'll spend like days sobbing and crying afterwards. I've never seen The Notebook. My wife has once or twice, and she actually refuses to watch it because I guess common sense kicked in. Turns out sobbing and crying for days after watching a movie isn't really a lot of people's idea of a good time. But anyways, enough of my rant. So it worked great for date night. Try it. It'll work out really good. You will do well. And it's rated PG too, so you can watch it with kids if you have them, or if you're younger too and listening, you can pick this up. It won't disappoint. It's got, like I said, romance, comedy, and it's also got a lot of action adventure in it. The fight scenes in this are brilliantly done. The choreography is amazing. They would have spent a lot of time practicing these and getting their fencing skills down, and I would assume this would have helped carry a lot too when Men in Tights came around, because him and Mandy look amazing when they're fighting because they have a huge, like, 10-minute long fight scene, and it's over the top a little bit too because it is a comedy, but it fits. It's over the top without getting too carried away, if you take my meaning to it. It's really, really well done. If you have seen this movie and you didn't like it, I would actually really like to hear from you, and I'd like to know why, because I've never actually stumbled upon anybody who's seen the movie who didn't like it and counts it amongst their favorites. Maybe that's just a Canadian thing, who knows. It's not a hard movie to find in stores at all. It was huge in the 80s and early 90s, so it should be fairly easy to find, and the book is also, like I said, it's not hard to find, and you can order it if they don't have it in stock. So definitely recommend you check that out. If you have any movies that you would like me to see, and that I haven't seen, which is hard to do, and you think would be up my alley, let me know in the comment sections below, and I'll do my best to check them out. And I might do a movie of the week on them, for better or worse, once I get through, because I have a long list of movies that I want to do. Next movie I'm going to be doing is The 13th Warrior, which was a surprise movie for me. I didn't think I was going to like it, and I remember renting it when it came out and wondering why I was renting it, because I didn't think I was going to like it. But I'm going to get a lot more into that next week. Anyways, guys, we are just about to wrap up this gameplay here. It's coming to a close. So, like I said, any movies you'd like me to see and possibly review, let me know. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, and that keeps Movie of the Week going. Sorry again for last week not having a Movie of the Week. I ran into some issues with my laptop. It was just a mess, but everything's all up. I've had to switch video editing software too, so I've got that going now, and hopefully everything will be back up and normal as we go. I should have another episode for Call of Duty up today or tomorrow as well too. I'll have another Minecraft episode up tomorrow as well too. So make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of those, and make sure to backtrack to last week or not last week, I should say 2 weeks ago, where I did my review on Willow, which is another one of my favorite childhood movies. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the gameplay, and we will talk to you tomorrow.